How to control women or persons in general with mind control and fractionation. There are lots of reasons to want to control a person. Some of those reasons are healthy and some of them are not. Either way, you can find a good approach that helps you do the right thing by trying to understand people and yourself a little bit better. Step 1. Understand how to achieve your goals. Abusive manipulation can cause serious harm, and may end the relationship before you get what you want. Instead, think of control as convincing other people to agree with your perspective. With the right methods, you can shift people's attitudes without losing their respect. Step 2. Choose an appropriate goal. Make sure that the person you're influencing can actually achieve your aims. Setting yourself an impossible task can create a high-pressure situation, hurting everyone involved. Instead, aim to start a friendship, improve your work or chore routine, or solve an interpersonal problem. Never attempt to force another person to love you, to snap out of an addiction or mental illness, or to make significant life changes against their will. The success of serious emotional manipulation is tense, fragile, and extremely damaging to yourself and the other people involved. If these are your goals, find a healthier approach instead. Step 3. Find their motivations. Right now, you're dissatisfied with how certain other people behave. But before you can begin to persuade them towards something different, you have to understand what's motivating them to choose their current course of action. What makes them think that what they're doing is a good idea? Once you know their current set of motivations, you can influence these motivations to persuade them towards something different. Usually, the easiest way to find out their motivations is to simply ask, "Why do you think this is a good idea?" You can also try and figure it out by listening to what they say and watching what they do. For example, your project partner is not contributing as much work as you'd like. He might be motivated by a sense of fairness he already thinks he's doing enough, laziness he wants to avoid the work, or low self-esteem he doesn't think he can do the work as well as you. Step 4. Identify the most powerful motivation. Now that you know what their current set of motivations are, try to understand the motivator thoughts most important to them. Influencing this motivator will be the easiest way to get the most impact. Think about what they value most in making a decision, by thinking about decisions that you've seen them make in the past or arguments that you've had with them. If you know what's most important to them, then you can introduce that motivator to get the result you want. For example, you want your mom to vote a certain way in an election. She's voting for the incumbent candidate because she knows her political stance better, and agrees with her social values. You know she values educational spending more than the social values platform, since she used to be a teacher. You can use facts about your candidate's relationship with children, families, and education policy to motivate her to change her mind. Step 5. Understand what's holding them back. Now that you understand what kind of things make an argument look good to them, you will want to take a look at the factors that hold them back from your argument. What about what you're trying to do makes them think it's a bad idea? When you know what they perceive as the risks with what you're asking, you can figure out how to make those risks seem smaller. There's no reason to be coy about finding out why someone doesn't like an idea. Frequently, once someone says why they don't like an idea out loud, they'll think that it sounds stupid or realize that they can't explain themselves well, which can give you the perfect opening to talk them over to your side. Step 6. Let them see themselves as the hero. One of the best ways to convince somebody to do something is to help them see themselves as the hero of the story. Humans look for their lives to have some kind of continuity. It's what makes them feel like they can expect a happy ending. Shape other people's perception of their personal stories, showing them how much better they are when they're part of your story. If you achieve this, you will be able to talk them into almost anything. For example, let's say that you want an investor to support your startup company. Talk to them about how by supporting your company, they're paving the way for innovation. They will be the hero that brings positive change to your community. They get to be the next Andrew Carnegie, leaving ripples of good work through history. Step 7. Give them a sense of community or identity. Another way to make your ideas look more appealing is to get the person you're trying to convince to feel like a part of the community, or to make them feel like they play a very specific role in the community. People have an incredibly strong need to belong, and when you make them feel like they belong, they'll be much more willing to go along with what you're wanting them to do. For example, let's say that you want your sister to switch chores with you. Help her to see that by cleaning the kitchen, she'll be contributing to the house in a way that everyone will notice. Explain that you'd rather weed the garden for your own enjoyment, but that no one ever thanks people for those tasks. Step 8. Do things for them. When you're helpful to people and do things for them, they end up feeling indebted to you, making them more likely to think that they should do what you ask. Provide significant help, like helping them move, finding them a job and getting them hired, or setting them up on a good date, and they'll be ready to help you in return when you ask. An important part of this technique, though, is not letting them see an ulterior motive. They need to believe that you sincerely want to help them because you like them. It's up to you how true this needs to be. For your own comfort, you may want to avoid exploitative situations. Step 9. Let them see you in control. Another way to make them feel like your path is the right path is to seem like you're in control of the situation. If they think that you've got your hands on the steering wheel of life, then they don't need to worry about surprise outcomes. This makes your way look like the safe way. Seem in control by first of all being knowledgeable. Do your research. Know what it is you're talking about. After that, project confidence as you discuss a solid plan that you have. Be ready for questions and have lots of counter-arguments prepared. Step 10. Catch flies with honey. There's that old saying that you catch more flies with honey than you do with vinegar. While it's not always true for flies, being kind to people and projecting positive feelings usually makes them more willing to listen to you, take you seriously, and agree with what you say. When you talk to people, don't be judgmental, demeaning, rude, critical, or confrontational. Be firm and confident, but don't be a jerk. For example, avoid calling their views or choices stupid or explaining your views to them like they're a child or mentally deficient. Instead, build them up, be positive in your interactions, and do nice things for them. When they see you as a nice person who goes out of your way to help others, they'll want you to succeed, they'll want you to get your way, because it reinforces the idea that fate rewards good people. Their need for the world to be fair will necessitate that they do what you want,